Good day and welcome to NoorNews. Today, we examine the fallout from the latest deadly strikes in Ukraine, analyze the future of FIFA leadership under Gianni Infantino, and look at the shifting diplomatic landscape between Bahrain and Sudan. Let's begin our coverage with the crisis unfolding in Kyiv. Gianni Infantino will remain at the helm of FIFA after securing the continued backing of the organization's senior executives. The decision follows a period of intense scrutiny regarding the president's private investment activities, which have drawn significant criticism from stakeholders and governance watchdogs alike. While the governing body has affirmed its support for his leadership, Infantino has issued a formal statement expressing that he sincerely apologizes for errors made in relation to these controversial financial plans. According to reports from the BBC and Al Jazeera, the internal consensus among FIFA's leadership is that these lapses in judgment do not warrant a change in presidency, despite the ongoing debate surrounding transparency and ethical standards within the organization. The controversy centers on undisclosed investment interests that critics argue created potential conflicts of interest during his tenure. FIFA officials have indicated that they consider the matter closed following the president's admission and the subsequent vote of confidence from the executive committee. However, the situation continues to highlight broader concerns regarding the governance structures currently in place at the World Football Body. Infantino is expected to continue his mandate, focusing on upcoming tournament preparations and internal reforms intended to address these recent administrative challenges. Bahraini Foreign Minister Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani held a telephone conversation today with his Sudanese counterpart, Mohi el-Din Salem, to review the latest regional developments. According to the Qatar news agency, QNA, the discussion focused on strengthening bilateral relations and addressing the current security and political landscape across the region. Both ministers emphasized the importance of maintaining open channels of communication to navigate the ongoing challenges facing the Arab world. The call underscores Bahrain's active diplomatic engagement in regional affairs and its commitment to coordinating with international partners to foster stability. While specific details regarding the regional crises discussed were not disclosed in the official readout, the exchange reflects a shared interest in regional security cooperation. The dialogue between Manama and Khartoum comes at a time of heightened diplomatic activity in the Gulf, as regional powers seek to align their positions on emerging geopolitical shifts. Both officials reaffirmed their dedication to enhancing cooperation across various sectors, ensuring that their respective nations remain aligned on key strategic priorities. The conversation concluded with a mutual commitment to continue consultations on issues of common concern, reinforcing the diplomatic ties between the two countries as they monitor the evolving situation in the region. Foreign direct investment inflows into Kuwait's education sector have experienced a notable decline, according to recent data released by the Kuwait Direct Investment Promotion Authority. The figures, which cover the fiscal outlook for 2025, highlight a cooling trend in capital commitments toward the nation's educational infrastructure and private schooling market. According to Arab Times Kuwait, this downturn reflects broader shifts in investor sentiment and regional economic priorities as the country navigates evolving market conditions. While the education sector has historically been a target for international partnerships aimed at knowledge transfer and capacity building, the latest deeper report indicates that these inflows have failed to maintain the momentum seen in previous reporting cycles. Analysts suggest that the decline may be linked to current regulatory frameworks and the competitive landscape for foreign capital within the Gulf Cooperation Council region. As Kuwait continues its efforts to diversify its economy under long-term national development plans, the performance of the education sector remains a critical metric for policymakers. The authority has not yet provided specific details on whether this trend is expected to reverse in the coming quarters, but the data serves as a significant indicator of the current challenges facing foreign participation in Kuwait's social infrastructure development. Ukraine is warning that a critical shortage of air defense interceptors is resulting in a rising civilian death toll following a series of deadly strikes on Kyiv. According to the BBC, the depletion of stockpiles for systems like the Patriot has left the country's skies increasingly vulnerable, allowing Russian missile barrages to penetrate urban centers with greater frequency. Military analysts note that without these advanced interceptors, the effectiveness of Ukraine's layered air defense network is significantly compromised, leaving residential areas and critical infrastructure fully exposed to incoming projectiles. The Ukrainian government has repeatedly appealed to international partners for an urgent replenishment of ammunition, emphasizing that the current deficit is directly impacting the ability to protect non-combatants. While Western allies have pledged continued support, the logistical challenges of sourcing and delivering these specialized missiles remain a primary concern. The situation on the ground has intensified pressure on Kyiv's leadership to secure additional hardware as the frequency of long-range attacks shows no sign of abating. For now, the lack of defensive coverage remains a defining factor in the ongoing conflict, with officials warning that the humanitarian cost will continue to mount unless the supply chain for interceptors is stabilized in the coming weeks. NASA has confirmed that it does not currently have plans to capture imagery of the specific lunar crater created by the impact of a spent SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket stage. According to BBC reporting, the agency stated that the impact site is located on the far side of the Moon, outside the orbital path of the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. While the orbiter is capable of photographing surface changes, NASA officials noted that the scientific value of documenting this particular impact is limited, as the rocket stage was not carrying sensitive payloads or scientific instruments. The impact, which occurred in March 2022, was the result of a discarded upper stage from a 2015 mission that had been drifting in deep space. Astronomers initially misidentified the object as part of a Chinese lunar mission, but subsequent analysis confirmed it was indeed SpaceX hardware. Because the crash site is in a remote region and the event posed no threat to lunar operations, space agencies have prioritized other observational missions. Consequently, the public should not expect high-resolution photographs of the crater, as the resources required to maneuver existing satellites for such a task are currently being directed toward active research objectives. The Bombay High Court's Goa bench has overturned the 2021 acquittal of former Tehelka editor-in-chief Tarun Tejpal, finding him guilty in a high-profile sexual assault case. According to reports from the BBC, the court is expected to announce the quantum of sentence later today. The verdict was delivered by a bench comprising Justice Dr. Neela Gokhale and Justice Amit Jamdar, following 3 days of final hearings that concluded with the reservation of the order on July 30. The case dates back to November 2013, when a female colleague accused Mr. Tejpal of sexual harassment inside a hotel elevator during the ThinkFest event in Goa. The incident became public after internal emails regarding the allegations were leaked. While a trial court had acquitted Mr. Tejpal in May 2021, the High Court has now reversed that decision. Mr. Tejpal, a prominent figure in Indian media, began his career in 1980 with the Indian Express Group. Over a career spanning more than 3 decades, he served in senior editorial roles at India Today and Financial Express before establishing Tehelka. Legal proceedings have remained a focal point of public discourse since the allegations first surfaced nearly a decade ago. Russia has intensified its military campaign against Ukraine's Black Sea coastline, resulting in significant damage to maritime infrastructure and vessels in Odesa. According to the BBC, the recent surge of strikes has left a trail of blackened ships and shattered port facilities, marking a notable escalation in the region. These attacks appear designed to disrupt critical logistics and infrastructure along the southern coast, further complicating the already volatile security situation in the Black Sea. While the port city has faced repeated aerial assaults throughout the conflict, analysts note that the current wave of strikes demonstrates a renewed focus on crippling the operational capacity of Ukraine's remaining maritime assets. The destruction of these docks and vessels underscores the ongoing vulnerability of the coastline to long-range precision strikes. As the conflict persists, the strategic importance of Odesa's maritime access remains a central point of contention, with both sides continuing to trade fire across the water. International observers are monitoring the situation closely, as the sustained bombardment continues to threaten the stability of regional supply chains and the safety of civilian infrastructure near the waterfront. The full extent of the damage to the port's functionality is still being assessed by local authorities. Thank you for joining us for this verified bulletin. We remain committed to bringing you the most accurate reporting from across the globe. NoorNews, verified before published.